from Q101. This is a case for a show in which I have coerced management and let me talk to my favorite bands. We are sitting here in the Q101 Lounge today with one of the hot new bands in Chicago scene. I am so excited to have with me Pretoria. There are three gentlemen here. Let's go one by one, introducing ourselves and telling the fine folks how we're doing.
Hey, I'm Rob. I'm doing great. Super stoked to be here.
Wow, very jazzy of you, Rob. That was very fun.
For sure.
My name's Ben. I just had surgery on my nose, and I'm off painkillers right now. And I feel great.
My name is Matt. I did not have surgery recently, but I still feel great.
Have you had surgery ever?
I have my wisdom teeth out.
Okay.
Does that count?
Well,
They put you under for that
If they
sometimes.
take stuff out of you, it's surgery. I think.
I think that's the legal definition. The last time I went to the dentist, which was recently, because I've started taking care of my teeth now that I have
Let's go.
dental insurance.
Yes.
Shout out
Okay.
SAG-AFTRA. What a union they are. They told me that I've got wisdom teeth coming in. What should I expect when they need to take them out of my mouth? It sounds like a terrible process.
I mean, you won't be conscious for it, ideally. I don't know how
ideally.
good your insurance is.
It's good. That's the thing. I got grown man insurance now.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Congratulations.
No surgery. What happened? Tell me the story.
I had a deviated septum.
Don't we all?
I couldn't breathe. Not me anymore.
Does that lead to snoring? What's the biggest risk of a deviated septum?
It causes all sorts of problems.
Really?
Yeah. It's like I first noticed it because I lived my whole life that way. I couldn't tell the difference. But my dentist was like, "Yo, your gums are like dry and inflamed. Do you like sleep with your mouth open, like breathe through your mouth when you sleep?" And I was like, "I guess I do." And then so like my gums are at risk for disease. Because I like drool when I sleep because I sleep with my mouth open. I was like breaking out around my mouth more, and just like all sorts of just like little things like that. And obviously you can feel less alert. You're just getting less oxygen to your brain.
Oxygen's
So like
crucial. People gotta have that.
underrated.
Yes.
Oh, yo, oxygen underrated.
Shout
Over
out
oxygen.
oxygen.
Yeah, I love it. Any surgeries?
Um,
And
No.
it's not a trick question.
I don't think so. I'm thinking I've had my wisdom teeth out, but that's the only thing I've ever been put under for.
Wow.
No surgeries. Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Glad we're all in good health. Glad we could all be
Absolutely.
here today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt. Could I get a tissue? I'm starting to like get.
Can we get out of my hands? We're gonna
you.
keep rolling here.
Yeah.
Giorgio runs and get a tissue.
I still have like plastic like splints inside my
Really?
nose, so I'm very congested and like.
What was the?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how long are you out? Like, what's the road to recovery on a deviated septum surgery?
I'm on like day 4 or something. You got to keep the splints in for a week after.
Really?
Apparently, they really suck to get taken out.
Okay. Well, the
and
next
then,
time you
yeah.
join us, the next time you put out music, we'll circle back to make sure that everything's okay. I'm
Should be
now shockingly invested in the health of your septum or lack thereof.
Thank you.
So again, what timing by Giorgio! I had run out of things to stall with, but Giorgio has made it
thank
here,
you. Thank you, Georgia.
and you can do your thing as we'll cut this from the interview.
No, it's okay. Let them see.
I like this. A warrior. You gentlemen, are we all from Grand Rapids, Michigan? Is this all where we hail from?
Yes. Yeah. So the
Yeah,
three of
ish.
us actually went to high school in a suburb of Grand Rapids called Grandville, Michigan. It's like 10, 15 minutes outside of downtown, depending on where you're from. So yeah, we've known each other for quite some time.
Did you guys meet in high school or before then?
So me and Matt over here, we were neighbors growing up. Our backyards connected, like, I don't know, ever since we were like 4, probably. Yeah. So I've known Matt like pretty much my whole life.
Do you remember the first thing with Matt that you guys bonded over where you're like, wow, this kid's actually pretty cool?
We both were like, we would play like this like superhero game a lot in Matt's backyard. I don't know what comes to your mind.
This was definitely after we'd like been friends for a while, but I just have this vivid memory of you showing me the song "Gives You Hell" by All American Rejects.
Shout out.
Who played in Humboldt Park at a house show last week.
True.
They just played a house show that was actually not far from where we are now.
Yeah.
That's very sick.
Yeah.
As for the third leg that we have here, do you remember the first thing that you bonded with these two gentlemen over?
I remember Matt and we were in middle school band together, and I remember he broke his wrist. And one of my earliest memories.
What is wrong with you guys? Stay healthy.
Yeah, we're full of injuries.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
High risk, high reward.
He broke his wrist, had a cast on, and I was like a drummer in the school band, and I would like drum on his wrist to like itch his wrist.
Oh, right, because you can't get under there.
Yeah.
So the vibrations from the drumstick would help the itch out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's nice.
Little pro tip.
So that's the first thing you bonded over.
And then Rob, I don't know, man, because we were in high school together, and I feel like I saw you around the halls, but we were in like different grades.
Yeah, we didn't really become close until I was still in high school and they had graduated. That's when this band kind of formed. Yeah, we didn't really run in the same crowds. We just, we didn't go to the same elementary school or anything. So didn't know him as well as I knew Matt. But
Wow.
But yeah, now we're all here, so it's great.
Here we are. Talking about Grand Rapids, what's cool there? What's like the thing? I feel like in my head, Grand Rapids has a mall that has a skate park in it, but I also might be making that up.
Not
Is
anymore.
that not anymore?
Yeah,
That was a thing?
It was a thing,
Absolutely
yeah.
a thing.
I'm so good. I know Michigan. What's cool in Grand Rapids? Like somebody goes there for a weekend. What are they doing?
They have a lot of breweries there. It's
Beer
nicknamed
City,
Beer
USA.
City, USA.
Is that right?
It is.
I didn't know that.
Allegedly, I don't.
Which is funny because like you'd think like Milwaukee, they have a literal
Yeah.
baseball team named after,
That's kind of their thing.
the Brewers or whatever. But Founders Brewing is there. There's just a lot of breweries, a lot of places to get a drink. Lots of live music there. I feel like the live music scene is pretty good.
It's a vibrant arts town.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, I mean Art Prize.
Oh yeah,
happens
Art
there.
Prize. I don't know if
That's
you
a
probably
pretty
don't know what that is.
I don't know what that
in
is.
Chicago.
It's
It's like
massive.
a international art festival where like basically anybody can sign up and put their stuff in. The installations are placed throughout the entire city. So like some of them are just like out on the sidewalk. Some of them are like in like museums and stuff. But the whole city is basically like a giant art gallery for like, I don't know, like 3 weeks or something. And they do it every year. And then there's like a big winner and the public votes on it. It's a really cool community thing.
That's wonderful. I
Yeah.
like that. Obviously, we're just getting to know each other. This is the start of lifelong friendships between the four of us. I
Yes.
don't doubt it. Take me back to being 16, 17, 18. I don't know what goes on in Grand Rapids. I don't know how their laws work. When you got your license and when you got in the car, what is the music of your lifetime that defined that era of driving around for the first time with nobody else in your car? I feel
Oh,
like that's a
man.
great way to get to know people.
I could probably pull up the playlist right now if I
Probably that seems like it'd be fantastic.
I think it's just 2016 top 100 songs or something
2016,
like
a
that.
glorious year. Really, 2016 summer really hit.
For me, lots of Red Hot Chili Peppers at that time. I had just saw that my first concert ever was seeing them at the now torn down Joe Louis Arena where the Red Wings used to
Pour one out
play.
with Joe Lewis.
And they did like a big tour run. It was like one of the last concerts ever there. And the drummer, Chad Smith, is from there. So he had like a Red Wings jersey on. Super cool. So Red Hot Chili Peppers, that's when I was really getting into Vampire Weekend at the time. Those two bands kind of dominated my playlist. I don't know about you guys.
I can tell you exactly what it was
All right.
because this album came out the day I got my license. I distinctly remember being excited to like get home from my driver's test and listen to it. And it was Weezer, the White Album.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise known as the most underrated Weezer
Yeah,
album.
Yeah, that is a good
The
album.
best one since the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
agree with that. California Kids to
Yeah.
Open.
Is Thank God for Girls on that one
Yes,
as well?
yes, it is.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
a great. That's such a good driving around album
Right?
too.
Yeah.
Good
All
summer
right,
album.
top
Yeah.
that.
That was like right when I was like first like having my own music taste a
Right.
little bit. And I remember listening to a ton of the Wonder Years. I was like
yeah.
going real emo.
Forgot about that.
The Wonder Years, The Greatest Generation. I was like listening to that album a ton.
Wow.
I
Well,
just listened to it again. Like right after my surgery, I had to like, not right after, but I had to drive to Chicago from Grand Rapids, and I listened to that album again, and I was just
vibing.
yeah.
The second you wake up, you're like, all right, Wonder Years. Get his headphones.
You can watch my interview with Dan Campbell, by the way, on Q101's YouTube channel.
Oh,
We talked
sweet.
last year
Yo.
before an Aaron West and the Roaring 20 show. He was an absolute delight. He
cool.
thought I was a roadie when he got to the venue and had me carrying his gear.
He's like, here, man.
Yeah, and he started asking me about like microphones. I was like, brother, I'm here from a radio station to ask you like, what was it like touring in a van? Like, I don't know who you think I am, but you got the wrong guy. And then we sorted it out and it all worked out. Obviously, we talked a lot about Grand Rapids. We're here in Chicago now. You guys live in Chicago now. Explain to me as an outsider, because most of my live music experience is by living in Chicago. I've lived here 8 years now. I wasn't somebody who went to a lot of shows in high school or even before that. As an outsider looking in, playing shows in Grand Rapids, what does the Chicago music scene look like to an outsider? And is there like a world of possibility, like hope and wonder that's represented by being in Chicago? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of the reason we moved here is because, I mean, there's only like a handful of venues that like were our size that we could like fill up in GR. And once you play those like fairly consistently, it's kind of like, all right, what next?
Yeah, absolutely.
So part of the reason we moved here was to, you know, seek that out and seek out, you know, new audiences and play at new places like that. And I feel like here for every one venue in Grand Rapids, there's like, I don't know, 20 here. Like there's just so many different ones, so many that we've been to see shows that, you know, we dream of playing someday. So yeah, I think that the way you put it, of it being like this unknown opportunity for all these venues, is like right on the spot.
Absolutely. What's the thing that's jumped out about Chicago that you guys maybe weren't expecting to like as much as you did, or something that you didn't know about that now you moved here and you're like, oh wait, Chicago's cool?
For me, the lake, obviously we're from Michigan. Grand Rapids is not far from the lake on the other side. I didn't realize how like nice like some of the beaches were and stuff. I just knew there was like obviously the skyline. I knew there was like a couple beaches here and there, but like Montrose and like
that's my hood. Yeah.
the nature preserve up there where you can go out and look back on the city from the north. It's like I go there all the time. It's so cool. So that definitely surprised me.
Did you mean music wise when you asked that?
No, I meant anything. We're opening up the borders here, baby. You can talk about anything.
The beach.
Man, I think for me, I mean, if I thought about it before we moved, maybe I could have guessed it. But because Chicago is just so much larger, the music scene is larger, there's so much more of like a thriving underground and like crazy niches that I never would have even imagined. Because in Grand Rapids, like there's a lot of cool shit happening. Excuse me. But it's small enough that it can be difficult to have something thrive that's like super underground or super weird.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you can still be into it and people are still doing it, but here it's like you can kind of have more of an audience for it. And I really like that.
Yeah, like Grand Rapids, like you can go see a noise set, but it's not going to be like a Chicago noise set. Actually, I don't even want to say that because there have been some pretty sick like set type things in Grand Rapids too. There's a cool DIY punk type community there too. But yeah, I mean, Chicago, I'm basically echoing Ben's answer. Any niche that you could be into, there's going to actually be like a full-fledged community around it here.
I love that. As we sit here and talk, Emerson Everywhere is out now. You've got the new EP coming out on June 13th. We'll talk about that in just a second. But that song specifically, heard it, loved it. Curious as to what the inspiration was behind that song and how it came to its final form.
Divert to Ben for this one. He's the guy that wrote it. So.
Yeah, this one, a lot of times I'll start songs with lyrics or a vocal melody. This one started as the groove. And the song itself is very based upon the groove. And it was just an instrumental that I made in my basement one day, and it just had a nice like bounce to it. And I was like, okay, well, we got to finish this somehow. And I think I was anticipating going through a breakup when I wrote this song. So it was kind of like I was looking kind of upon the breakups I had been in the past or been through in the past, and was kind of imagining going through that again. And that was kind of the source material for a lot of the lyrics for this one. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And then I made a demo for it. There were like 4 different demos for this song.
There's a lot of versions of this song.
Yeah. I made like the first complete demo, I would say. Sent it to the guys. You know, they liked it and stuff. didn't seem like anyone was like super crazy about it at the time. So I just kept moving, kept writing more stuff. But then when it came time to pick what songs were going to be on the EP, everybody was like, oh yeah, that one should definitely be on there. It's like, okay, I guess it didn't seem that special to me at the time. But as we made a couple more demos, it started really coming together more and more. And then when we were sending stuff out to people as kind of like a test run, testing to see how people liked which songs off the EP, you know, friends of ours, people we trust, people that make music, people that don't make music. That was like a universal one where it was like, you guys have to release this one as your first single for this project.
You talked about, you know, the inspiration behind some of the lyrics and preparing for this breakup. Is it hard for you to put yourself out there on that emotional level, or as, and we'll use a gross term, but we'll say artiste, is it just one of those things that to you comes pretty naturally?
I wouldn't say it comes naturally. It's a difficult thing to do. And, you know, to a certain point, you know, it being so personal and writing about your relationships, you almost worry about being disrespectful to people's privacy in your life. You worry about, you know, exposing yourself too much or doing something that's too private. But for me, I think I just have reached a mentality where I am no longer afraid to do that. And I find that it's kind of like almost like my duty as a songwriter to be personal, because I know that people are going to connect with that. And I can do that in ways that aren't going to, you know, that are respectful of the people in my life. And, yeah, so I now it's like a nice release, I think.
Have you ever written a song about somebody and then asked them if it was okay to release the song?
Yeah, I think I have done that. Yeah.
What'd they say?
I've never had anybody like not be cool with it, you know?
Right on. Well, the new EP is out June 13th. I'm going to let you guys know. I've heard it. I like it.
Good. Oh, thank you.
There's a song on there. I believe it's called My New Room. Am I correct in that song title? That was the one that really jumped out to me.
Sweet.
I'm just curious what the process was behind creating that song as well.
Yeah, that one was, that is the, as far as like chronologically when they were written, as the oldest song on the EP. That was written, oh man, I was
right when you moved into the treehouse downtown, yeah,
which is house in Grand Rapids where Rob and I lived together, and we like ran a house venue out of there. But right before then, I was living in the like dingiest apartment in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and it cost $370 a month.
That's a good deal. That's too good of a deal. That is not good.
It's like,
you got to pay a little bit more than that.
That's like questionably good. It's like, what happened here?
Yeah,
Why is it so low?
It was like in the attic of like this historical mansion in Kalamazoo. It was a really weird spot, but yeah, it was not nice. And so I remember moving from there into the treehouse with Rob and some other guys that I knew. I was living alone before then. It was like still like COVID-y times. I was very isolated. I had gone through some, you know, kind of depression and just really struggled. And so just moving into this house, which was only marginally nicer than where I was at.
Yeah, it's just it's a big old, like very old, not run down, but just like you walk in, you're like, oh, this house is 100 years old.
And it's kind of like a dude house as well.
Yeah, it's a dude house.
Yeah,
for sure.
but it was like moving from where I was at to there, even though it was kind of a modest improvement, just like felt really nice, and it felt like a relief in that things were going in the right direction. So that's kind of what inspired that song.
You piqued my interest here with the DIY venue. Take me within the walls of the treehouse and the best night that was ever there, whether it was just you guys or the show was there. What did it look like? Put me in the shoes of somebody that was in that house that night.
Oh man, I feel like we might have different answers for this. We've had so many shows there over the years. Back in the day, we had Worry Club, which is actually a Chicago band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this was years ago. I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. They played in our basement a couple times. That was a super fun show. I think we were on a bill with them that night with another band called Saturdays at Your Place.
Of course.
Yeah, those are our homies.
Okay, those guys are great.
Yeah, those dudes are from Kalamazoo, which is where Ben used to live when he was going to Western Michigan there. So I think there was a bill. It was us, Saturdays at Your Place, Worry Club. I think that was it, right? Was that? Was there more?
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
there's one more, but
There might have been another one.
That's a funny bill because that's just like people would just like that's like a real show now.
Right,
That's
right,
like
right.
That's a touring package that people would go see.
The funniest part was I remember it was probably like our 6th show there, and I was like, oh man, there's not a lot of people at this one. But our photographer, his name is Brady Olson. He still lives in Grand Rapids. He lived at the house as well, and he takes pictures for the house, and then we have a wall in our living room that's just covered in photographs from shows. And I remember the photographs from that show in particular were just like crazy. Like it might not have been the most people there, but like people were just going so hard, and the people that came out were having such a good time. And he always has all the band members like sign the photographs as well. So we have all these signed photographs of all these bands. It's super cool that we got to be able to do that.
Absolutely wonderful. Any other memories of the Treehouse jump out to mind?
Ooh, my favorite show would probably have to either be between the last show that we did, which we like, it was the only show that was like, we had like wristbands and stuff because we knew people were going to like come out. And I mean, we had like 200 people in our house.
I think it sold out in probably the first 12 minutes. We had a line down our sidewalk, and I had to go out on the porch and be like, I'm so sorry, but our house is simply not big enough. You guys have to go home.
Yeah, but what I remember is then as soon as you walked away and one of the roommates took over the door, you just went, all right, everybody else come in.
Yeah, it was a little overcrowded. But it was fun.
But yeah, every band that night just like gave 100%, and the whole audience just gave 100%, and it was super cool. It's either between that or we had a couple like Halloween shows that were really fun. Those because, you know, we had all the bands do the thing where, okay, for tonight, why am I blanking on it?
We were The Cure.
We were The Cure.
That's not an easy cover set.
That
Your
was
songs
crazy.
are
That was
really
so fun.
intricate.
Yeah, we
had
wore
the
makeup
eye
and did our hair
on.
That's
crazy.
fantastic.
There's a band called
The Ramones.
the Ramones was another one. Somebody else was was it Jimmy Eat World or was it Bowling for
Jimmy Eat World.
Oh, the one I remember.
Is Jimmy Eat World.
The
Jimmy Eat
best
World.
is Ficus as Black Sabbath.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
such a
that was
perfect
crazy.
Halloween cover set.
Yeah.
People would always come dressed up. We never told anybody to come dress up, but it
Right.
was
It's just a Halloween
awesome.
party. It was great.
Yeah.
And then Nirvana was the last one I remember.
Oh, yeah.
They
Lost
opened the night up.
Magic. Shout out to
Yeah,
Lost
shout out
Yeah.
Lost Magic.
I love that. Well, let's end with this. I ask a lot of bands this question because you're in a very vulnerable state where you have this record done, but it's not out. And, you know, I think even the most cynical musician can have high expectations for the music that they're about to put out. So I'll ask each of you this. What's the thing, whether it's an entire song, whether it's a specific riff, whether it's a lyric, whether it's a drum fill, whatever it is, what's the thing you're most excited for people to hear on this EP that you hope as you tour across the country that somebody stops you at the merch table and they go, hey man, I heard this in this song and I just had to tell you that was awesome.
Wow, what a great question. I'm going to go with the outro for the final song. It's called, should we say?
You should say it.
It's the final one is going to be called Home. And the outro for that, it just kind of continues to build and build and build. And I think it's a great climax to the record. So that's my favorite part.
I love that.
For me, there's a guitar solo on track 5, I've Got No Wanting, that I think Ben composed in a really unique way where it sounds like just one guitar playing like a linear solo progression, but it's two guitars playing at the same time, trading off every couple notes in order to play things that are basically impossible to play on one guitar and at least make it sound the way that it does. And then they're panned left and right, so it's just like trading off notes at an inhuman speed, but really it's just two players. And I don't know, I'm really interested to see if people are going to think that's as cool as I think.
I'm curious to see if people think it's one or two guitars. Because in the demo, I just assumed it was one, but I was like, I don't know how he's playing that. So I'm curious about that.
And it was really cool because in the studio, we did this for a couple parts on the record, but we tracked that live together with both of us playing at the same time. And it was really cool. That was a special moment in the studio. Sick. I'm really pumped for the first track, which is called Boil Water Notice.
Yes.
And I just really like how that came together. It was kind of like a last minute song that we threw on there. Like I wrote it like a week before we decided what was going to be on the EP. And it just ended up being like the perfect intro.
Yeah, that one has probably turned into my favorite one on the EP. And like Ben said, it almost didn't make it on there. So it's funny how things work out like that sometimes.
Very glad it did. If we're pretending it's out June 13th, I'm sure the next time you guys are in this room, you'll be playing to a packed Q101 Lounge. Before we go, anything you would like to plug other than, of course, the new EP?
We're going on tour this summer. So if you're in a U.S. city, check out our Instagram page and see if we're going to be close to you guys. So
And give people that Instagram handle.
it's at Pretoria Music, Pretoria music, spelled like music.
Wonderful. Pretoria, thank you guys so much for
Thank
your
you.
time. I'm on Instagram @_Caslow, that is CASELOWE. New episodes of A Case 4 every Monday, although I think this is going to come out on Tuesday because Memorial Day is on a Monday. Knocked Loose, Jeff Rosenstock, Military Gun, Spiritual Cramp, Dan Campbell of the Wonder Years. If you like this band, I've probably talked to another band that you like. And so thus you should like this video, subscribe to the channel, and go back to the A Case 4 archives. In the meantime, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Good luck with
thank you.
everything.
Appreciate it. Thank you.